ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। ॐ गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। By the grace of the Master Sachidananda Paramatma, the Almighty and only presence, only consciousness of the world, and all rest is the Maya. By the inspiration of the Paramatma Sachidananda and for the welfare and lover, the loving person of Sachidananda Paramatma, I am describing this verse of the Geeta. My dear friends, in this Geeta, in this verse, the Duryodhana is telling to his army general and his teacher Dronacharya. He is telling, aparyaptam tatasmakam balam bhishma virakshitam पर्याप्तं तु इदं पर्याप्तं त्वमिदेतेषां बलं भीमा विरक्षितम् अपर्याप्तं तत अस्माकं बलं भीष्मा विरक्षितम् पर्याप्तं तु इदं एतेषां बलं भीमा विरक्षितम्। My dear friends, now the meanings of this stanza. Bhishma Virakshitam, it means the great grandfather Bhishma. By the Bhishma, safe, by the safety of the Bhishma. Asmakam, it means our. Tata, it means that. Balam, it means the army. Aparyaptam, it means in all the way, not conquered by anyone, unconquered, hard to conquer, never conquered by any enemy. Two, and Bhishma Virakshitam, by the Bhim, by the safety of the Bhim. Etesham, that person's Pandavas, idam, this balam, it means the army. Paryaptam, it means the easy to conquer. If a Hindi person will read this stanza, he will confuse, because here aparyaptam in the Hindi it is a deficit, insufficient. But here is the meaning is other in the Sanskritam. My dear friend, the Duryodhana is telling to the Dronacharya that in the safety of the Bhishma, our army is very hard to conquer by any army. But in the safety of the Bhima, the others army of the our enemy Pandava's army, that is easy to conquer. We can easy. My dear friend, that is the problem of the ego. That is the problem of the blind person. He always underestimate to other person, and he always overestimate himself. My dear friend, all the holy books, all the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, Brahmanas and Shruti and Smritis and all the books and all the message, holy books, they are only the medium to giving you the invitation. They are calling you, come in the grace of the God, and the coming in the grace of the God is the coming in the grace of the Master at the time of enlightened alive Master. So, I think you are a blessed person. I think you all are under the grace of the God because God is pleased on you, and so you are hearing my discourses. Because the Srimad Bhagavat says, every stanza or every verse has three type meaning. One type meaning is only the worldly meaning, that is called Shabdartha. Second type of meaning is called the Bhavartha, the sense of the verb and the stanza. And third type meaning is the meaning of the secrecy, the secret involved in that word or stanza, verb and stanza. My dear friend, that is called supreme meanings. Here, this stanza is a very meaningful stanza. This stanza concluding a very precious teaching for all humans of the world. This stanza is exposing. This stanza is opening. This stanza is uncovered. The ego in front of you. The ego is completely exposed in this stanza. The Duryodhana is the symbol of the ego in your inner platform or your inner side. I am not talking about outer side. I am talking about your inner side. Because the internal battle is going on every time in every living being. And every time that living being is defeated by the Duryodhana, by the Dhritarashtra, by the Bhishma, by the Karna. And that's why you are taking the death and birth again and again, and you are going unnecessary punishment births. My dear friend, it is not fortunate thing for all persons. They have got the enlightened master like the Krishna. So, it is very natural expression of the ego. The Duryodhana is telling the very, very meaningful word, and he is exposing his own natural and characteristics of the ego. Duryodhana is telling that the enemy's army is insufficient. And because, why is insufficient? Because that army is only prevented or only secure or security of the Bhima. Where if we can kill the Bhima, then easily we can conquer the Pandavas. He is so blind. He is never looking about the Krishna. He is never looking about the Arjuna. He is never looking about the Drashtadhumna. He is never looking about the great warriors and the commanders of the army of Pandavas. He is only looking the Bhima. He wants to kill the Bhima because the Bhima is the traditional enemy of the Duryodhana. Because Bhima is a concrete confidence and very, very hard and very, very stable internal promise or internal oath to get enlightenment. So if the Antakarna, if the Ajnana break this promise, break this confidence, break this enthusiasm, that the Jiva easily caught in his under custody, and he can push the jiva in the death and birth cycle. This is the nature of the ego. Ego underestimates his enemy. He do not know. Ego cannot see the Krishna as the owl, and the bat cannot see the rising sun. My dear friend, and he is telling that my forces is well safe in the custody of the Bhishma. This is the speciality of the ego. This is the characteristics of the ego. He always think that his opponent is big and he is strong. He always think that his opponent is poor and he is rich. He always think that his opponent is fool and he is wise. He always think that opponent is smaller and he is bigger. He always think that he is strong and opposite opponent is weak. So, the ego never stand in the favor of the Sadguru, because he also think that Sadguru is small, Sadguru is weak, Sadguru is poor, and Sadguru is insufficient. So Sadguru need to fight with your ego only. And Sadguru do not fight to anything, but Sadguru fight with your ego. So the same thing happening in this stanza. The Duryodhan, the ego is saying to the Dronacharya, he do not see the Bhishma. He do not see the Bhishma. The Bhishma is even the positive and strong, but he is fighting against Sadguru Krishna. So anything you have strong, if you are going opposite to the Krishna, that is strong force will be enemy of you. That become enemy of you, that become destroy you. So my dear friend, as a Bhishma was very strong, but Bhishma give his death secrecy to the Kunti. And that's what has happened. The Krishna brought the Shikandi and killed the Bhishma. So your ego, if your ego have anything is in his support, so definitely you can understand the supporting person or the supporting force and the supporting ability and supporting quality of the ego that are all blind, that are all in the mesmerism of the Maya. They are all caught in a blindness. They do not see the Master Satguru. Because a person have the ego, his intellect like a donkey. He is only in the compare to the donkey, not comparing to the monkey or other animal. He is the most foolish person of the world, which is living in the ego. You know, the intellectuality and the wiseness of the egoistic person only like the donkey. And you know what the master of donkey do in the night? He nothing do in the night. He only goes near to donkey and he move his hands to the feet of the donkey 2 times, then come, and donkey think he is tired by the rope, because in the childhood donkey was tired with the rope, and after some time the rope, no need of rope, only the illusion of rope is sufficient, and donkey stand all the night the same place, never go away and never walk here and there. He tightly stand there and sit there, and he think that I am tied by the rope. So the egoistic person, the person who is living in the ego, he is tied by the Maya like a donkey. So the Jnani says, even he is not tied, He is only tied by his foolishness. He only tied by his own illusions. He is only tied by his mind creations. He is only tied by his norms. He is only tied by his impressions. He only tied by his likings and dislikings. He only tied by his hungerness of the sensory organs stimulation. He is never tied. He is free, but he thinks he is tied. So he is tied. So the great person says, आप बंधायो आप में, फंस्यो आप में आप, और जिसको तू खोजत फिरे सो तू आप को आप. You are self tied by the self foolishness, and all tied by your ignorance. As you are searching the soul that you are, but you are not understanding. My dear friend, the ego is the son of the ignorance, ajnana. The ego is the representative of ajnana. The ego is the declaration of ajnana. The ego is the unconsciousness of ajnana. The ego is the demonstration of ajnana. So my dear friend, ego think himself he is a specific person. He is a special person. I think, I see, this is my own experience. Any officer comes to me to meet me. What is his expression? I see. He comes to me, meet me with a shirting and good pant and belt and good boots and the shocks and the very nice type of hairstyles, and the officers comes to me to meet me. He has a notebook in his hand. He has a very nice spectacles, and he moves spectacles one or two times, and he comes like a elephant is coming with the ego. A rich person or a officers, the egoistic persons, they comes to meet me as a elephant is coming. His expression, his movement, his walking, his talking, his sitting, his question, everything contained with his ego. But what can Sadguru do? Sadguru say you are a egoistic person, then he will be run away and he will become the enemy of Sadguru. And he do negative activities against Sadguru. So Sadguru do not tell that you are egoistic. Sadguru say, oh, very good, sit, you are fine, sitting, okay, yes, okay. And he ask any question, Sadguru answer with politeness, and his ego satisfied. He think that he is an intellectual person. The Sadguru is giving a very good answer, and he satisfied, and his ego satisfied, and he goes, but he goes with the blank pockets, with the blank hands. So my dear friend, a great man says, when you meet to the Sadguru, you put your ego in your shoes. If you want to take something divine and spiritual blessed from Sadguru, you should put your ego in your shoes. But I am seeing my many disciples, they are talking me with the ego. They think they are very intelligent. They think they want to answer. They don't want the satisfaction of the meditation. They only want to satisfaction of intelligence. They want to answer in the level of intelligence. All things which comes in the level of intelligence, that are all maya, that cannot give you the liberation. You can satisfy by the answer of the Sadguru, but you lost something precious, that is your awareness. Because your mind will never stop the questions. your mind always playing this trick. He questioned to the Sadguru and he debated with the Sadguru and he put the ego in front of you and Sadguru, and then he kick out the Sadguru and he run away from Sadguru. This is the trick of the ego. So my dear friend, a holy book says, even the elephant can go throughout by the needle hole, but the egoistic person cannot come in the God's empire, in the God's heaven. This is a quotation of a holy book. So my dear friend, one example I want to give unto you. When the egoistic persons come to the Sadguru, he comes that he is giving the importance to the Sadguru, and Sadguru must be grateful to the person which is coming here. That's why I don't meet to the ministers. That's why I don't meet to the officers. That's why I do not want to meet the rich persons. That's why I am satisfied with my limited assets. I don't want to meet egoistic persons because their ego is hard like a rock. And if the rock will fall down on you, then the rock will crush you. So avoid the hard ego persons. Ego persons also some kind of ego persons. One type of ego persons, they only give the priority to ego. Second type of ego persons, they sometimes give the priority to the master, they can listen slightly. And third type persons, they told to ego, oh Mr. Ego, you put away from master's teaching because master can liberate me, you cannot liberate me. The third type persons, they are become the seekers and the lovers of the God. Otherwise, two type persons, they are only playing in the Maya and goes into the Maya. My dear friend, the egoistic person, the person who is living in the ego, is like a fool, like a child. If you put the diamond in front of the child, if you put the round balls of the glass in front of the child, if you put the grain in front of the child, and you put the toys in front of the child, if you put the sharbat, that cold drink in front of the child, he will never pick up the diamonds. He will take the cold drink. He will take some toys, and he will take the glass balls for playing. So the child do not know, the childish person do not know that if they pick up the diamond, they can avoid their all poorness, all the life, they can live like a rich person. So your millions of births poorness, that cannot be cannot be removed, cannot be abolished without the diamond of the Atma Jnana. My dear friend, the respected and holy master Kabir says, I love and respect to Kabir because Kabir says the direct teachings. Kabir says, हीरा पायो गांठ गठायो बार बार फिर क्यों खोले और मन मस्त हुआ तो क्यों बोले. When you have the Atma Jnana, then you should keep the Atma Jnana in your deep enlightened consciousness. Don't show the worldly persons, only show to the seekers. That's why the Sadguru only shows his teachings to the lovers and the seekers of the world, not showing to the all persons. That why my 175 videos, they are secret. These all videos which is I am giving the public, that is the grace of the God, and these are my advertisement banners That's why some person can come to me. My dear friend, the Kabir says, हीरा पायो गाठ गठायो बार बार फिर क्यों खोले. So my dear friend, when I will keep mum, I will stop my discourses, I will do not give any answer to anyone, that you will become to me and you will ask to me, but then I will not open the diamond in front of you, because that was my last phase of my journey, and the last phase of my journey I will not speak anything to anyone. My dear friend, it is my service, it is my worship, it is my duty only for the seekers and lovers of the God, that I am very, very thankful. The internet and the Facebook and the YouTube, that you can hear my videos on the YouTube after disappearing my body. But the Kabir has no YouTube. In the time of the Kabir was not YouTube, was not internet. So my dear friend, when the Jnanis become the mum and silent, when the Jnanis goes in the last phase, when the Jnanis disappear from this world and they disappear their body, then your ego comes to there. Your ego is not coming in the time of a life of Jnani. When the Jnani is alive and talking you and they can show your mistake, then you not come. But you come when the Jnani goes and you worship the idols of the Jnani. That's you are doing the worship of Rama, Krishna and many, many great gurus. You are worshipping because you are too full in the ego that you cannot bear, you cannot tolerate the words of the Jnanis. But that is no mean. If you worship the Jnanis idols, but that is only your foolishness and only the artificial satisfaction of your ego. My dear friends, as the Duryodhan is full in the ego, as every egoistic person, every person which has the proud, which has this foolishness, he is living the sedation of the wine of the ego. Nothing sedative like ego. No any wine effective like ego. No any drug effective like ego. Because ego is the supreme drug of this world. My dear friend, but the worldly person do not know the power of ego, the strength of ego, the intelligence of the intellect, the specification of the mind, and the choiceness of the mood. That's all can be dissolved when you sleep. When you sleep in the dreamless sleep, sound sleep, there is your mind dissolve, disappear. There is your intellect disappear. There is your mood disappear. There is your ego even disappear. He goes in the hibernation. But there is your soul is never disappear. When you awake from the sleep, you know you sleep very well. Who is the knower of the time of sound sleep? There is no dream, there is no ego, there is no intellect, there is no mind, there is no body, there is no sensory organs. All are unconscious. When a doctor give you the chloroform dose and you are become in the condition of anesthesia, you are become anesthetic. My dear friend, it is the greatest proof of the existence and your soul. Nothing is proof like this in this world. when you come out from the unconsciousness of anesthesia, when you come out of the unconsciousness of the dreamless sleep, then you know that you sleep very well. Then you knows you was in anesthesia. Who knows? Who knows? The knower is your soul. That presence is the existence. And that is the presence of the God. That is the presence of the supreme consciousness that ego do not know. Who tells that I am not proof the Atma? I tell I can prove the Atma if you are ready to listen my verdicts or my sentence of instrumental debate. I can prove it. But you are not ready to listen. You always come in the contradictory part of the Sadguru. You never open your doors for the Sadguru's teaching. You always want to close your doors by your own prejudiceness, own thoughts, own inspirations, own experiences, on evil, and on your sensory organs experiences, that is called your karmas. My dear friend, please open the door for Sadguru. Then you will know that what is your real appearance. My dear friend, it is the proof as I given you. If you are in the ego, if your own condition is the ego, then you can never come out from the Shushupti or the hibernation. Because you are not ego, you are something else, so you come return. Otherwise, ego is sleep. Who is awaken your ego? When you are in anesthesia, who is awaken your anesthesia break? Who is awaken your consciousness? That consciousness is the supreme consciousness that awaken your physical body, mental body again. You can do experience. My dear friend, if you are in the coma, if you are in the anesthesia, if you are in the sleep dream, deep sleep, you cannot fight to anyone. If you cannot fight by the small sleepy condition, if you cannot fight by the anesthesia, how can you fight from the fight with the death? Because death is the supreme unbroken anesthesia of this world. How can you fight? But Sadguru knows. How can you fight and how can come out from the death and how can you awaken in the death? Sadguru knows. So the ego cannot fight even by the sleep. So how can ego can fight with the death? You cannot fight with the rat. How can you fight with the lion? You cannot lift the 50 grams. How can you lift the quintal weight? This is the weakness of the ego. This is the weakness of the ego and this is the death point of ego, if you can understand. But I am telling about this stanza that the weakness of ego, he see the deformities and the unbeautifulness and he see the deficits in other person and he think he is very powerful. And that's why he see the deformities and the loopholes and the weakness of Sadguru also, because it is the ego's nature. When he comes to the Sadguru, what is she? He see, oh, Sadguru's room is so dirty. He see, oh, Sadguru's sleeper is very old. Sadguru's cloth is not proper. the Sadguru's cloth is somewhere that there is some threads is coming out. You see, oh, Sadguru has no enough money. You see, oh, Sadguru's beard is not in the order. You see, oh, Sadguru is seeing here and there, and seeing manner of not good Sadgurus. And he see many outer things in the Sadguru, and see the poorness of the Sadguru. And that's why the fake gurus, they know the ego weakness. So what they do? They goes to the beauty parlor, gents parlor, they fit their beard and hair, and they make the curly hairs, and they wear very nice dress with the golden work and with the diamonds and other, and they knows your mistake. So they wear the very brand new slipper or very good khadau with the golden work and embroidery. By the golden wires, they make the eyes artificial, and they do not look to your side. They look only small eyes. They open. They do all the drama. The fake guru. You see, this is best guru. This guru is very best, because your ego is satisfied. All the skills and imaginations, they are fit from the fake gurus. That's why you are not enlightened. That is the weakness of your. So my dear friend, you valued the Sadguru by the scale of the ego. You valued the Sadguru by the scale of your intellect. You valued the Sadguru by your own spectacle. My dear friend, the evil spectacle how can see the right manner? बुराई के चश्मे से अच्छाई कैसे दिखेगी? How can you see when your spectacle is not good? So my dear friend, Guru knows everything, because you are searching the weakness in the Guru. The same thing in the Duryodhana. Duryodhana cannot see the goodness of Krishna, the greatness of Krishna, the masterness of Krishna, the godness of Krishna, and he do not see the powerfulness of Krishna, almightiness of Krishna. The Duryodhana can see the simplicity and love of Arjuna and purity of Arjuna. Duryodhana cannot see the truthfulness of Yudhishthira. Duryodhana cannot see the beautiful face and beautiful heart of Nakula, and Duryodhana cannot see the best skillfulness of Sahadeva. Always Duryodhana see the negativity, the loopholes, and his all the intellect was prejudiced by the ego, so how can he see the goodness? So the prejudiceness of the ego and never see the goodness. My dear friends, the Duryodhana never see the Balrama and Krishna's greatness and their miraculous presence on the earth. Duryodhana do not see that Krishna was killed the very big devils. The number of devils Krishna killed. The Duryodhana not see the efficiency of the Balrama, because the ego never see any goodness. Ego avoid your goodness, because ego like a owl, like a bat, he cannot see the light, he can see only only the dark. That is, I remember a story of Mahabharata, very short story. Krishna always positive in his vision. The negative to negative things, Krishna sees some positivity. So the Arjuna tests the Krishna, and once upon a time the Krishna and Arjuna was walking in the deep streets, and there was a the dead dog was laying, the body of dead dog was laying, and there is bad smelling. So Arjun asked, oh, very bad dog, smelling very bad, decomposing the dead dog. Krishna told, my dear Arjuna, even he is dead, even his body is smelling, even every negativity was, what one thing is very good. So Arjuna asked, what good thing you are seeing in the dead body of dog? So Krishna told, his teeth are very white and very beautiful. That is the way of seeing of enlightened person. If my master see my weaknesses, he never enlighten me. I see your weaknesses and your deformities and your wrongly and your wrong activities and your internal presence of different type of dust and dirt. If I will notice them and I will give them importance, I cannot make you my disciple. So every unenlightened person, every foolish person, every person which is living in the mind, intellect, mood and ego, that must be able for give the pardon by the Sadguru. Because Sadguru only see one thing, you are curious or not, you are loving or not, you are serious or not, you want to enlightenment or not, you want to free from the illusion of Maya or not. My dear friend, this discourse is too big, so I am taking this discourse in two parts, and recently I will take second part.